Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good evening and welcome to Midvale Speedway's night number 5 for Thunder in the Valley 2014. Please rise and remove your hats for the invocation and national anthem. For tonight's invocation, I turn it over to my co-announcer, Chris Kale.
Please bow your heads. Lord, we would like to take this time 70 years ago. The troops stormed the beaches of Normandy, and we would like to take a moment to remember those who fell that day 70 years ago yesterday and pretty much changed the face of World War II. So we want to take a moment and think about those troops, and please watch over the troops near and far that keep us protected every day. Lord, we also want to ask you to protect our drivers, our crews, and especially our fans tonight. Please let us have safe races and let everybody get home safe and sound. We also thank you for the beautiful weather here at Midvale Speedway. In your name we pray. Amen.
Presenting the colors tonight is Leo Collar riding in the Zach Koger number 7 in honor of Private Cody Koger with the National Guard. Also presenting the colors is Matthew Mills in the number 4. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Again, welcome to Midvale Speedway for night number 5, Thunder in the Valley 2014. Pretty good field of race cars on hand. Fans still entering the gates as we get ready for the 5th night of the racing season. And your fast qualifier in our fast dash tonight, the car number 22 of Mike Miller from Clinton, Ohio, and the green flag is out. Hey, we are racing for 4 laps, Chris.
We talked about Mike Miller last week and the issues that he was having. Well, that car's quick tonight.
Yeah, car definitely quick. He had rear end issues last week. He had engine issues last week. Side by side, this 4-lap fast dash is underway off of turn number 4. We head into the first corner. It's going to be Rosenberry, the slight advantage, coming off of 2. Schneider fights back. They're wheel to wheel for a moment. And now Rosenberry ahead. Schneider still working that second lane. 1 lap down, 3 laps to go. Rosenberry, the leader at the line. Bryant Smith, your second fast qualifier, trying to move into the number 2 position. Smith on the inside, Schneider on the outside. The veteran, Mike Miller, our points leader, running in the number 4 spot. Schneider thinking about closing the door, not quite yet. Miller still looking low. He's going to be able to make a run on him. Going to come to the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go for the number 2 of Alex Rosenberry. Rosenberry and Bryant Smith, first and second. Smith's car, after the crash last week, coming off of turn 4, looks to be quite hooked up tonight. But Rosenberry is going to bring it to the checkered off of turn number 4. And Alex Rosenberry takes the fast dash win here at Midvale Speedway. From New Philadelphia, let's hear it for Alex Rosenberry.
Great run by Alex, Adam, and just wanted to give a shout out to that 22 crew, the Ron Jayberg Racing Team. You know, Ron does it. Him and his son do it just about by themselves for the most part, working on these cars, and Mike helps out when he can, but he's clear up in Clinton, Ohio, and you know, they do a great job. And for that small team, and you know, they don't have the finances that a lot of these race teams do to be the fastest qualifier down here. Shows what a good job that they do, and what a very capable driver Mike Miller is.
Modified fast qualifier, the 99 of Jason Gruhl, our points runner-up from Dover. Front Street Automotive, Wheelendale Golf Cart Sales, and Coffee Express. Green flag is out on our Summit Racing Modifieds. For 4 laps, they will race at our Fast Dash this evening. Westerfield off of turn number 2, pulling ahead and going into the lead. Glenn Jewell, good qualifying effort, his best of the season. Racing for the number 2 spot is Glenn Jewell. Jewell, a couple of times in his career, has been a track champion at Midvale Speedway. So is Bubba Smith, who drives the number 7 car that the Smith Racing team purchased in the offseason. Finally got it done for this week. He falls back to 3rd. Jewell has moved into the number 2 spot. Smith back to 3rd. Gruhl running in the 4th position. Westerfield the leader, but closing is Glenn Jewell. Coming to the white flag this time. It'll be 1 more lap to go for Westerfield. Glenn Jewell running in the 2nd spot. Smith running 3rd. Gruhl running in the 4th spot, and I think Westerfield's got this one just about wrapped up. Coming off of turn number 4, the Norton, Ohio driver Tim Westerfield Jr. brings it to the victory. 2nd spot to the 24 of Glenn Jewell. 3rd goes to Bubba Smith in the 7. And Jason Gruhl taking 4th, the fast qualifier. Pulling to the line, the Baker Race Cars, Miller Towing, number 9 from Norton, Ohio, a 2nd-year modified competitor. Let's hear it for Tim Westerfield Jr.
And Adam, another shout out to another one of those smaller teams.
Stewart Flooring, Impact Photography car. Vince Martin, Dennis Wood to the green. Turn 4, we're underway. Dennis Wood, the slight advantage in the outside lane, looking good coming off of turn number 2 as he tries to become the driver from the front row from the outside of row number 1. Oh, Vince Martin locks up the tires going into 3. Door slaps the number 41 of Wood. Didn't matter, helped Wood out, in fact. He pulls out into the number 1 spot. Martin moves up a lane into the 2nd groove. Mike Martin's going to move by to the inside. Rick Elkins Jr. also taking a run to the inside of Vince Martin, whose car definitely not handling well in this dash race. They'll see the white flag, this time coming off of turn number 4 as the 41 of Dennis Wood has a big lead build up. 2nd and 3rd of the battle between Mike Martin and Rick Elkins Jr. Wood leads the way. Elkins at the line in 2nd. Elkins pulling forward now, taking sole possession of the number 2 spot. Coming off of turn number 4, the Automotive Electric Right Price Motors Cater for You Carpenter Asphalt 41 of Dennis Wood takes the win. 2nd to the 62 of Elkins. Your winner from Barberton doing a nice job of this number 41. Let's hear it for Dennis Wood.
Oh, and Adam, the 41 car, we talked to him after the feature last week.
3 and his teammate, the top qualifier, the 31 of New Philadelphia's Kyle Rector, starts on the outside, and the green flag is out. We are racing for the Canton Auto Salvage Compact Division. Kyle Finlayson and the number 15 pulling forward, half car length advantage, middle of the backstretch. Finlayson, whose car has been getting quicker and quicker each week. He's become a contender in this compact class. Finlayson, 175 of Renneker, the 3 of Grove, and the 31 of Rector. And Rector thinking about 3 wide. Is that going to work? I don't know. They've got a 40-lapper coming up later tonight. Might not want to tear it up before that. And he's going to thread the needle and make the move. Kyle Rector up into the number 2 spot. Can he be our only fast qualifier that wins a dash race to this point? He's got a legitimate shot. He was one of the hot shoes in our compact division for a couple of years. Now just runs on a part-time basis. White flag coming off of turn 4. 1 to go for Kyle Rector. He's the leader at the line. Rector running a nice lane in that blue and black number 31. Rector will clear the 15 of Finlayson on the backstretch. Finlayson fighting back to the inside, going to lock up the brakes a bit. They come to the checkered, and from 4th to 1st, the winner, Kyle Rector. 2nd to Finlayson, 3rd to Grove, and 4th to Renneker. Surprised everyone by out-qualifying Kyle Grove, and then backs it up with a dash race win.
Wow, and how many times do you see that number 3 car passed?
Not very often. He kind of got boxed in on the bottom there, and Rector took advantage.
Did a nice job.
Your winner from New Philadelphia, let's hear it for Kyle Rector. Green coming off of 4 laps, fast dash for the mini trucks. Kyler Bertram into the lead, and we're going to go caution. Caution flag coming out. And the 13 of George will bring it over to turn number 4, ready for the green, ready for the restart. 4 laps, dash race for the mini trucks. And here comes Martin already. Mike Martin making a 3-wide move on the outside. And will he be able to clear Bertram? He will on the backstretch coming off of turn 2. Mike Martin clearing the 155 of Kyler Bertram.
I don't think that Mike Martin gets enough credit, Adam. That was a move there.
Was a move. It was a slow start. He was able to get his momentum up. Was on the go button hard coming off of turn 4, and Mike Martin was able to go into the lead. The 13 of George has been black flagged, was leaking something. 2 laps in and 2 laps to go. Oh, and Martin nearly loses it coming off of 2, and it's going to be the 155 of Bertram clearing him. Now 1 more lap to go as Martin nearly spun it. Just when you thought the race was over, Bertram's got a chance now. Martin locks up the front tires a little bit, heading into turn 1, gets back to the outside, coming down the backstretch. Can Bertram hold off Martin? Martin's making up some ground. It's not going to be enough, though, as they come to the checkered, and Bertram will win it. Martin second, Keith Anderson a pretty strong third, and you saw the parity there of the field. Put your hands together for Kyler Bertram.
What do you think, Adam? Did I put the kibosh on Martin or what?
Somebody did.
Holy cow. You know, I think them boys down there, he thought he going to win that thing coming off turn number 2. He just kind of got away from him down there.
It did get away from him a little bit. He had some issues a couple weeks ago in the late model, trying to make up for it tonight. He'll be the pole setter with Matthew Mills alongside in the green. Flag is out. Matthew Mills with a better start in the outside lane. Mills trying to go into the lead. Leinard staying alongside, coming off of turn 2. Mills has not cleared him quite yet. Leinard might be able to fight back into a lead battle coming off of 4. He is pulling forward. Mills, the advantage at the line. Side by side lookout. Leinard sideways. That's going to put Mills out front. Moving into the number 2 spot comes Alex Rosenberry. Leinard drops in line in 3rd. Stankiewicz running in the 4th spot. Mills leading. Rosenberry 2nd. There's a lot of veterans back in the field. A lot of youth at the front of the field with Mills a teenager. Rosenberry a teenager, 1st and 2nd. We've completed 3 of our scheduled 8 laps. 2 New Philadelphia high school students in 1st and 2nd. Mills looking for the win. That car getting quicker and quicker each week. And also on the move, top qualifier Mike Miller. Miller has put the car in the outside lane, and Mike Miller coming forward. Battle for the lead, battle 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Good racing in our late model fast heat tonight. Mills on the inside, Rosenberry on the outside. Miller's going to move up into the 3rd spot as he gets by Roger Leinard. So far, Rosenberry hasn't been able to get around Mills. Mills giving him room in the outside groove. 2 to go this time. 2 laps to go for Matthew Mills.
Oh, what a drive he's having, Adam. One of the best races I've seen this kid drive, Matthew Mills up front. Great job in the number 4.
He picked up speed last week, and now he's showing it during racing action. Mills coming to the white flag. 1 to go. Brian Smith in the number 1 car is going around, coming off of turn 4. Coming to the checkered flag, it's going to be Mills, Rosenberry, 22 car of Mike Miller, finishing 4th, the 23 of Leinard, and finishing 5th, the 42 car of Stankiewicz. Smith with a spin and a lap to go, and it turns out to be a pretty good race up front in the Frontier Tool, Dennison T-shirt graphics, Thompson Electric, Sunshine, Signs and Decals, and Van Meters Auto number 4, one of the New Philadelphia teenagers finishing in 1st and 2nd. This one is Matthew Mills.
Hey, Adam, on a side note, I told Roger earlier, it works better when you try and turn the car into a corner, not on a straightaway. And he thought it was kind of funny.
And all the pictures and updates that he provides us.
He does have a GoPro in that 82 of Joe Leinert also.
Green flag coming off of turn 4. Nathan Embry and Dave Martin bring him in. Into one we go. Embry on the inside, his first career Midvale Speedway race, and he has a great exit of turn number 2 to pull forward into the lead. Battle for second, third, fourth on back. Look out, going to get a little bit tight. Leinert's going to have to check up. So does the 21 car of Cibla as Dave Martin backpedaling. He's going to get shuffled all the way to the back of the field. The driver of the number 3, Dave Martin. Ambrose trying to make his way to the front. The 112 of John Ambrose Jr. Ambrose in the number 3 spot. He's a wheelman. Don Harvey Jr., a very good race car driver that normally is behind the wheel of the 112. But Ambrose, if you're going to replace Harvey, Ambrose is a pretty good guy to replace him with.
And he's got his hands full, Adam. All kinds of
Ambrose,
movement.
yes, he does. He's a little bit free coming off the corners, trying to get that second groove down. He does now pull alongside Larry Baker for the number 2 spot. Little sideways on the exit of turn 4. We are halfway this time. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. Look out. Sideways, and had it pointed towards the wall for a moment was Ambrose. He's fighting hard in the second lane. Embry still leads. Baker running in the second spot. Leinert running third, and here comes Ambrose again, trying to get up into the top 3, and he definitely has his hands full. Trying to get that car quicker and quicker. It was a disappointing night last Saturday for Harvey, but I don't think the car was that bad.
No, I agree, Adam. Ambrose has his hands full tonight.
Martin gets to the inside of Ambrose, coming off of turn number 2. I'd say they probably tighten it up a little bit for the feature later. White flag is out. 1 to go for Embry. Oh, Baker makes some contact. Look out, our top 2 beating and banging for the number 1 position. Pretty good job by Embry to hang on to it. Here comes Leinert to the outside. 3-car battle up front. Checkered flag, and it's going to be Embry, Baker, Leinert, Cibla, the top 4. Finishing in the 5th spot, the 3-car.
Well, and that shows when you make contact, you can still get through a corner without dumping each other, too. So good hard racing by Embry and Larry Baker.
His first ever race at Midvale Speedway, and he wins it. He's from Vanderbilt, Michigan, now living in Carrollton, Ohio. The Embry Racing Up North racing car. Let's hear it for Nathan Embry. Ready for green for Preston Walker and Kevin McClintock. And it's a great start coming off of turn number 4. Side by side at the line they were. They race into 1 and 2. McClintock on the outside of Walker. Up the banking they both go. Still plenty of room for racing for both. McCreary in the 2 using this as a hot lap session as the other 6 pull away. As the 30 of Walker leads lap number 1. McClintock jocks into line in the number 2 spot. Here comes Bubba Smith racing for 3rd with Tim Westerfield Jr. Saw Smith not able to make a go of it in the outside lane in the dash race, trying to maybe adjust on it a little bit for the heat. And right now still hanging on to 3rd and 4th in that battle with Westerfield. Walker leads, McClintock 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th in a battle. It's going to be 3 laps in and 5 to go this time for Preston Walker. Walker, 3-car lengths ahead of McClintock. Lee McCreary heading pit side this time for the number 2. Feature winner opening night at Midvale Speedway. McClintock holding on to 2nd, followed by Westerfield, Bubba Smith, and Glenn Jewell. Smith by a nose over Jewell at the finish line.
Boy, that is a nice looking race car up front, Adam. Beautiful car.
Yeah, the Walker team always puts together a sharp looking race car, and once again, just a little bit of a change up on the paint scheme. Mostly a yellow-green color for the numbers last season. They've added some other color to it this year. Preston Walker leading the way. 2nd is McClintock. 3rd, Westerfield, who's run down McClintock now for 2nd. 2 to go. Walker has this one in the bag. Of course, we thought that about Mike Martin in the trucks earlier. White flag out. 1 lap to go for the Akron driver, Preston Walker. McClintock running 2nd. 3rd is Westerfield. 4th is Glenn Jewell, and 5th is Bubba Smith to the checkered flag. Off of turn number 4, Preston Walker claims the victory. Second to McClintock, third to Westerfield, who nearly got into the back of McClintock as he slowed down for the checkered flag. First night out for 2014, he claims a win. The Kim Tittle Enterprises, LocksToYou.com, Greg's Towing, and Bob's Auto Sales, number 30. Let's hear it for Preston Walker. The 15 of Tyler Noeski coming to turn 4. They're coming to the stripe. They're coming to the green. Terry Coletti's shaking his head no. And we're going to have a yellow. Caution flag out. Now Noeski trying to do the same in his heat race. They both moved to Carrollton for the oil and gas industry. We pick up a couple of race cars because of it. Green flag is out. That's a much better start. Still in great formation as they cross the finish line. Noeski's going to have the advantage coming off of turn number 2. What a great run in the second groove for Tyler Noeski. But he gives it back up going into 3 when he didn't shut the door. Here comes Stewart fighting back in the inside lane. At the line, it's Noeski just by an inch or so, but Stewart's taking over now. Stewart's going to pull back out in front. He's going to be the leader, Noeski. We'll see if he tries to get to the bottom. He has not yet. And Lucas Ripley's gone to the low side. Lucas Ripley for the number 2 position inside of Tyler Noeski. Noeski has slipped to 3rd. Mike Bowers on the move in the inside groove. The 0-2 car to the inside of Tyler Noeski for the 3rd spot. Stewart leads, Ripley 2nd, Noeski is 3rd, Bowers 4th, and Justin Courtney to the pits. Halfway, 4 laps in, 4 more laps to go for the 11 of Adam Stewart. Stewart leading. Ripley in 2nd, Bowers in 3rd. Boron is moving into the number 4 spot. If for nothing else, Noeski's learning a little bit about the outside lane and maybe what to do differently out there if he gets it again. He's plenty of experience in the second groove now in his first ever Midvale Speedway race. 2 to go this time for Adam Stewart. Stewart pulling away from Ripley. Protecting the bottom lane. Right now he could let her eat up some track. White flag, 1 to go for Stewart. Stewart with a little over half a lap to go. Leads the way down the backstretch. Stewart off of turn 4. The Canton driver is going to pick up the victory in our second heat race for the modifieds. Frontier Tool and Equipment Rental and ComDoc are sponsors at Midvale Speedway tonight. Frontier Tool and Equipment Rental located off the Schunbrunn exit off of 250 in New Philadelphia. Want to thank them for supporting us again in 2014 at Midvale Speedway. If you have some needs for equipment rental for the Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. Green flag is out. We are rolling in our third and final. Look out. Bryce Allensworth and Sean Martyr make some contact in turn number 2. They both continue on. See if they're both good to go. It looks like they may be. Allensworth being careful in case it's not, and he does have maybe a suspension issue on the right front, letting the field go by. Allensworth is towed out a bit on the right front. So bad break for Allensworth as he and the 25 of Martyr make some contact. We've completed 2 of our 8 laps. Philip Cox and Chris Peel, 2 drivers that spend a lot of time here on Friday nights tuning in their automobiles, are 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, that experience definitely helps. And, real quick, we were talking about earlier the points. You've got the veteran Kevin McClintock won a number of championships up there at the top of the board. You look at the rest of the top 5 and go, really?
And I think some of that is we've had so many disqualifications that have taken some drivers out of contention early. I'm thinking that one disqualification might not take you out of contention the way that drivers are getting knocked down after feature races in the modifieds. Not really what we want to see, but they've really kind of stepped up the teching process in the modifieds this season. A lot of drivers that would be competing for the championship have had points taken away early on. Right now, Cox leading the way It'll be lap number 6 at the line. 2 laps to go at the stripe for Philip Cox and Chris Peel.
Well, and Adam, that was definitely something that needed to be done in this division to maintain that control that everybody's looking for.
It is an economy division. Want to keep the division as cheap as possible, even though it's the second class at Midvale. It's a competitive class. Want to keep it that way, and it is. Nice to see 19 cars back out here tonight. Cox sees the white flag. Final lap for Philip Cox, Chris Peel, Emerson Huffman, Sean Martyr, and Todd Ripley. And on the exit of turn number 4, one of the rookies in the modifieds this season doing a fine job. Philip Cox claims the victory. Chris Peel in second. Emerson Huffman in third. Sean Martyr in fourth. And Todd Ripley struggling with that car tonight in the number 5 spot. Ripley actually drove, I think, Lucas's car in a feature race at Lake County Speedway in Paynesville that same weekend on Memorial Day Monday, and he picked up a feature win. Claiming the heat win in number 3 heat tonight, car 09, Philip Cox.
Well, and Adam, I didn't mean that as a bad thing. I know you didn't take it that way, but you know, you look at McClintock, then you've got Jason Gruhl, Sean Martyr, Joe Usich, and Adam Stewart sharing duties in that 11 and 4th. Boron Jr., the rookie, in 5th.
The 155 of Kyler Bertram, the 13 of Bruce George, and the number 5 of Mike Martin. The green is out. The top 2 got together a bit, and the 155 of Bertram takes advantage. Shimko in a spin cycle in turn number 2, and he gets the rear tailgate knocked off.
You sure that's not his brother in the 22 for the heat race? Kind of looked like Bill in there.
Ready off of turn number 4 for the green. The 72 of Cordia, the 22 of Shimko, rubbing a little paint again, and here comes Bertram again. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, I think, right there for the 72. Open up the bottom lane for Bertram for a second time. And here comes the number 5 truck of Martin as well for the number 2 position.
Out there, limousine number 72 out there, he just not getting a good restart.
Oh, look at Martin again. He just about looped it again coming up in 2. It's every time you're going to bring out the Kevin Dale impression in turn number 2, we're going to have a sideways truck of Martin. Look out. Cordy and Shimko get together. Shimko goes around, and there's a caution. Way up the track they are, and the green flag is out. So Bertram won the dash race earlier because Martin did a 360. Bertram's going to take the advantage early on here in the heat race. We'll be completing lap number 2, 2 laps in and 6 to go. Martin going to try to do it in the outside lane. Looks like the 155 truck of Bertram handling better right now. That thing, oh, now he has a little bit of a tire spin coming off at 2. Protecting the bottom. If he protects the bottom, he's got a chance. Martin going to look to the inside. So far to no avail. We've got the extended cab running in the lead. Oh, Martin, boy, is he really working the wheel in the number 2 spot. Halfway this time, 4 laps in, 4 to go for Kyler Bertram and Mike Martin. Bruce George runs in the 3rd spot. Things smoking pretty heavily. But I think it might be smoking off that right rear tire. Not a lot of clearance there on the right rear.
That is true. That is tire smoke.
5 laps in, 3 to go.
He's just down on the bump stops, Adam, just a little bit too far.
Got him spread out a little bit with 2 laps to go. Martin closing the gap, but probably going to run out of time again, just like he did in the dash race. Bertram leading the way, coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go for Kyler Bertram. Off of turn number 4, claiming his 2nd win of the night. The 155, Kyler Bertram out of Springfield Township. 2nd goes to the number 5 of Mike Martin. 3rd goes to Bruce George, who I think needs a little more clearance on that right rear. The Tony Newman Roofing, Bond Heating and Cooling, Lakes Auto Recycling, 155 from Springfield Township, Ohio, Kyler Bertram. Starting fourth, the number 18 car of Tim Frederick from Barnhill. The Route 39 Auto Salvage. Leggett's Tire, Central Finicum Insurance Ride. The 70 is Colton Cottis from Sherrodsville. Bucky Mowing, the field-sponsored entry. The number 8 car is Jeffrey Orr from Tusky, the Bucky Mowing Leggett Tire car. Starting seventh, the 69 of Dan Bucky. Please stand up and wave them off. 40 laps of racing. It is the wave lap at Midvale Speedway for the Canton Auto Salvage Compacts on Frontier Tool and Equipment Rental and ComDoc night at the races.
Hey, Adam, want to give a shout out to Lainey Stresky. It was her birthday last week, so I told her she got her birthday present a week early, but she could pick up a birthday present a couple days late too by picking up a 40-lapper tonight. Her and Alan Clark on the front row.
Thank you, race fans, for saluting our drivers in the starting field for our compact 40-lapper. $150 to win tonight. That's $75 more than normal. As the 0 of Alan Clark starts on the pole, the 17 of Lainey Stresky starts second. To finish first, you must first finish. And to finish tonight, 40 laps, which is 25 more than normal for the compact feature. Alan Clark and Lainey Stresky to the green, turn 4, we're underway. Already Dan Bucky makes a 3-wide move on the front stretch. Down into the corner we go, some beating and banging for the number 5 and 6 position. Around goes Gage Jayberg at the back of the field. He locks her down. And we got a caution flag. Yellow flag is out for Jayberg at the back of the pack.
Finally, the night that 09 of Wes Ennis finally gets up there and battles that 3 and that 31. The 09's had his issues this year.
A skew on the 09. See what they work on over there, Chris, as his pit crew goes to work.
I'm taking a peek. They're not really doing anything, just kind of talking over here right now. Don't know what the issue is, but...
So Wes Ennis starts but cannot finish. Problems for the 09 of Ennis. Alan Clark and Lainey Stresky coming to the green. Colton Cottis, tough start for the 70 again. Bucky looks to make it 3 wide. That hole closes up. Clean and green through turn 1, through turn 2 as well. Drivers trying to be a little more patient than maybe normal. We see a lot of 3 and a lot of 4 wide racing in this division on a regular basis, including last week. And at the line, first lap complete. Alan Clark is your leader. Clark leading the way. Battle for second between Lainey Stresky and Jeffrey Orr. Jeffrey Orr actually crossed the line in first in our compact feature a week ago, but in post-race tech had too much camber on one of the wheels, eliminating him from the feature victory. Got that issue fixed for this week, and he's going for the lead. Jeffrey Orr to the outside of Alan Clark for the number 1 position. 3 wide back in the field, trying to thread the needle since the start of this race has been Dan Bucky. Also, Lainey Stresky caught for a moment in the middle as Larry Ennis Jr. looked to the inside. Drivers, I think, right now showing maybe a tad bit more patience than normal. So we see Kyle Rector in the 31, Kyle Grove in the number 3, the teammates trying to move their way to the front.
Overheating issues on the 09 of Ennis, Adam. Overheating.
0 car of Alan Clark has gone under his qualifying time. So Alan Clark in the 0 gets the black flag for going under his time. He pulls off into the infield, gets out of the way onto the small oval, so he's done. Under his time is Alan Clark. Your leader is Jeffrey Orr. Second place is Clayton Oliver. Third, Justin Reniker. And Jeffrey Orr leads the way with Clayton Oliver, who is second in points. You know, he's quietly had himself a nice season so far, Chris. And Clayton Oliver, runner-up in the standings coming in this week. Pretty good driver.
Yeah, and he's got something for Jeffrey Orr, I think, Adam.
Looks like he does, and I'm watching as those blue and black 3 and 31 start to make their way toward the front. They're going to be threats in this one. Maybe using up a little more time getting to the front than they normally do. Jeffrey Orr leads the way. Second place, Clayton Oliver. Third, Justin Reniker. In the battle for fourth, Kyle Grove, Kyle Rector, and the 18 of Tim Frederick. Rector has actually made a little bit of contact with his teammate, Kyle Grove, as he's trying to thread the needle again. And right now, that opening closes up, so Rector probably not going to be the first of those two to get to the front. Oh, and Justin Reniker locks up the brakes on the front stretch. He was hard on the brakes on the front stretch.
Mechanical issue, you think, Adam, there?
Well, you could tell his brakes were locked up or something. as Justin Riniker had smoke, it looked like, coming off the tires. So nonetheless, he had it locked down, stopping on the front stretch, and cautioned out as he is turned toward the wall, jamming the brakes.
I will report that Dad Rosenberry came over and offered me a $50 bill, not to mention their name tonight. So what do you think? Should I take it?
Who was offering you the money?
Rosenberry.
Oh, no kidding.
Should I take it?
I think you should take it.
Is that considered a tip?
I think. But you can't mention his name in the feature. That's going to be tough.
But I can say Thad, though.
I don't know. That might be.
He's standing over here ignoring me.
I see him. He's standing there waiting.
But he said that he was not on the brakes. The car blew up.
So it must have locked up.
That could be because it's a front-wheel drive, so that's probably what you've seen.
So a bad break for Justin Riniker, who qualified his best qualifying effort of the year in our top four. Saw him in the dash race earlier. Great chance right now to stop down to the Midvale Speedway concession stand. Get yourself a slice of South Philly pizza, cheeseburger, hamburger, hot dog, as well as ice-cold Pepsi products, Mountain Dew, down at the concession stand here at Midvale Speedway. Mid-Vid Racing Video also on hand. John Chapman and Craig Mishler. John up in the video booth. He has DVDs available for sale from a week ago. Our racing action for $10 per copy. You can get any night of racing action from John and Craig here at Midvale Speedway. Also, our thoughts are with Craig and Crystal. Craig's mom passed away in the last day or so, and we have our thoughts and prayers with Craig tonight, who spends his evening here at the racetrack trying to maybe pass some time, keep his mind off of things. We're glad to see him here at the racetrack, but know that his thoughts are elsewhere as well.
Yeah, definitely, Adam. Mishler's been a long time, supporter of Midvale Speedway down here, and now's the time for our family to support theirs. So definitely thoughts and prayers to the Mishler family this week. He deserves it. Heck of a nice dude, Dean.
Jeffrey Orr in the number 8, Clayton Oliver in the 19, the 18 of Tim Frederick, and the 3 of Kyle Grove. Our first 2 rows of cars ready for green, coming off of 4. 7 in, 33 to go in our Canton Auto Salvage Compact 40. Restart down into the corner. The inside lane's going to move forward a little bit as Oliver couldn't stay up alongside Orr. Battle for the number 3 position. See what happens to Grove here. Frederick getting to the inside of Oliver. Look out, Bucky gets shuffled up the track a little bit. He and Rector maybe some contact. Here comes Salisbury in the number 4 to the inside. Salisbury picks up a spot. I'm not counting Blaine Salisbury out of this one yet. He looks like he might be just about as quick as the Grove and Rector combination.
Grove's coming.
He is. He's up to the number 3 spot, getting around the 18 of Frederick. Oliver fighting back with Orr up front. Oh, Grove's going to dive to the bottom in turn number 3, making a move to the inside of the 19 of Oliver for second. He picks up the 2nd spot. Looks like Rector's going to have to make the same move. He'll go to the inside as well for the 3rd position. Rector following in the footsteps of Kyle Grove. In fact, I think Rector's car might have a little more power in the 31 than the 3. Side by side for second. Kyle Rector inside of Kyle Grove. Good racing action, the front of the pack, and Rector gets a run to the inside of Orr for the race lead. Could be the move of the race right there as the 31 of Rector takes the lead. Grove's going to drop in line in second. It might be a matter of who gets to the front first between those 2 cars. Rector was quicker in qualifying than Grove.
Salisbury now up trying to get around the 19 of Clayton Oliver. sitting in the 5th spot right now, doing a nice job. Good battle for 4th between Oliver and Salisbury. And now Jeffrey Orr kind of dropping back into the clutches of Oliver and Salisbury as the two Grove machines pull away. Rector up front, Grove runs second.
And it looks like Rector might be just a little bit quicker, just like in qualifying. They've got that blue 31 car quicker than the point leader car of Kyle Grove now.
Dan Bucky out there in 6th in the 69 machine. The 18 of Tim Frederick runs right behind him with the 70 of Colton Cottis.
Got them spread out all the way around the track now, and it won't be long and you'll see some cars start to go a lap down, and it's not something the compact drivers are used to, is going laps down. Races are normally only 15 laps, and we normally split them up in 2 races. They're going to get the move over flag this time by the 7 of Koger, the 42 of Schreffler, and the 46 of Heath. Heath in the 46 is actually, I believe, the stepfather of Christian Bailey, who normally drives the car. He told me in the pits, he says 40 laps is too much for a young kid like Christian to run in, so I'm going to drive it tonight. Well, I don't know. I think Christian might have been a little better. Clayton Oliver has gone to the infield in turn 4.
Tough break for Clayton Oliver. And hey, you talk about that. How about the youngster Lainey Stresky still out there running in 17? Picked up the feature win last week. She'll do 40 laps.
Oh, yeah. Doing pretty good, running all by herself right there. Going to be coming to halfway. Be coming to halfway for the race leader, the number 31 of Kyle Rector. Rector off of turn number 4, 20 laps in, 20 laps to go in this Canton Auto Salvage Compact feature.
So you've got Orr still running 3rd. Now Salisbury up into that 4th spot. Dan Bucky in 5th. Tim Frederick runs 6th. Colton Cottis 7th in the 70 machine. Then Larry Ennis Jr., Laney Stresky in the 17, Gage Jayberg in the 21, and I believe Oliver's still on the lead lap. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, we've completed 22 laps now of our scheduled 40, and you've got the race leader, Kyle Rector, mowing him down. The 19 of Clayton Oliver on the tail end of the lead lap. He spun to the infield. Then Gage Jayberg in the 21. He's running in the 10th position. So right now, 11 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap, the 19 of Clayton Oliver.
What do you say, Adam, that starting here with Jeffrey Orr, we do a little crank it up, compact style 40 lap?
Let's hear it. Rector in the 31, pulling away.
19.
Clayton Oliver in the 19 car, I believe, leaking water. Overheating problems for the 19 of Clayton Oliver getting the black flag. Bad break for our points runner-up. Clayton Oliver to the pits. Leading the 31 of Rector. Second, the number 3 of Grove. Third, the 8 car of Orr, but now Blaine Salisbury moves into the number 3 position. So Blaine Salisbury taking 3rd away from Jeffrey Orr. Battle for 3rd continues. Running in the 5th spot is Dan Bucky in the 69. Another good run for Bucky. 6th, Tim Frederick in the 18. 7th, the 70 of Colton Cottis. 8th, the 57 of Larry Ennis, and he's the final car on the lead lap. 8 cars on the lead lap. 11 to go next time at the line.
I'm sure some of these guys, a little bit of fatigue setting in. Is quite a bit longer race than what they're used to, Adam. Kyle Rector, your race leader. Kyle Grove runs second, needing a caution to bunch things up a little bit. And also needing a caution, that number 4 of Blaine Salisbury now up into third. Jeffrey Orr fourth, Dan Bucky in fifth. Third, fourth, and fifth right together on the racetrack in turn number 2.
Down to our final 9 circuits now. As that time at the line, Kyle Rector had 9 laps to go. And he's caught the last car on the lead lap, the 8th place car of Larry Ennis Jr. He'll go to the inside in turn 4, 7 cars on the lead lap.
I think maybe officials taking a look at that number 70, also putting down some smoke, possibly some fluid out of that machine.
You see the flagman taking a close look to Colton Cottis' car on the way by. Cottis currently running in the 7th position. Last car on the lead lap having a decent run. Here comes Rector to the inside, and now 6 cars on the lead lap as the smoking 70 of Cottis is down a lap. Yeah, and that smoke getting worse. He's actually going to take it into the pits, I believe. Not yet. Colton Cottis staying out there.
He was shown the black flag, Adam. No, it wasn't. It was a passing flag, I think, that Jason gave him. But he is putting something down now, Adam.
70 car of Colton Cottis will be sent pit side. Just overheating. He's got water coming out, just overflow. No big deal there. Fortunately, not any oil or anything, but we said overheating might be a problem for some of these compacts, as not used to running this many laps. It's about 3 times the distance of a normal race. 36 complete. 37 going to be complete next time. You see all of the cars not on the lead lap moving over, down in 3 and 4 for the leader, Kyle Rector.
Yeah, Rector, the only one in the place that doesn't want to see a caution right now. Well, I should say the only ones on the racetrack that don't want to see a caution right now.
Yeah, going to be 38 laps in this time, 38 in, and 2 laps to go for the 31. And we've got 5 cars on the lead lap. The last car on the lead lap is in 5th, but he's trying to take 4th. It's Dan Bucky. I'm impressed with how nice of a job Dan Bucky does every week in that 69. He's 3rd in points coming in this week, and he's gradually moved up during the course of this race, picking off a spot at a time here and there. White flag is out for Kyle Rector.
Well, he is a champion, Adam.
2-time champion in the stock compact division, trying to take 4 spot away from Jeffrey Orr. As the last 2 cars on the lead lap, Blaine Salisbury, a good run in 3rd. Coming off of turn 4, though, the J.D. Byriders CNAC Financing Affordable Towing Car of Kyle Rector takes the victory. 2nd spot to Kyle Grove, taking 3rd. Coming off of turn 4 will be the number 4 of Blaine Salisbury. Good run from the back of the field. 4th spot to Jeffrey Orr, and finishing 5th, the 69 of Dan Bucky. The J.D. Byriders CNAC Financing Affordable Towing number 31, your winner tonight. Let's hear it for Kyle Rector. Well, Kyle, congratulations. Win tonight for the 31. In qualifying, you kind of surprised a lot of people. You beat your teammate, your boss over there, Kyle Grove, and the car proved to be the fastest in the features. Well, this thing's hooked up.
Yeah, me and his brother Tad, we worked on it a little bit this week and got some things dialed in on it. But I want to thank Greg Grove.
Now he might be firing you and saying, I get to drive that one next week.
Probably.
Nonetheless, good run tonight. Let's hear it again for the winner, Kyle Rector.
Going to try and go down here and catch up with our second place finishers, Adam. All right, going to sneak in here and get a word with Kyle Grove. Hey, Grover, good second place run. You look a little wore out, brother.
Yeah, it's hot.
Is it hot, or is it just, you know, the grueling misery of seeing your team car get out in front of you?
Hey, as long as we're 1 and 2, I'm happy with that.
Good job, buddy. Good second place run tonight.
Thanks.
Kyle Grove, your second place finisher. And let's go back here and talk to Mr. Salisbury, who's got a little smoke coming out of his machine. Hey, man, I kept my eye on you tonight like I always do, and you did just what we said you was going to do. You came from the back to the front. You made some big changes on this car. Tell me about it, man.
I just need more adjustments. Grove's car is way too fast in turns. We'll get there.
Doing a nice job, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
Finishing third tonight, Blaine Salisbury. Sits right there inside row number 3 along with Mike Bowers, who just had his daughter get married earlier this morning. So a proud guy behind that 0-2 machine in the front 3 rows.
You know, one thing I noticed in the heat race earlier is Noweski in the 15 was running that outside lane on the opening start of that heat. He had the lead. He had the 11 car cleared, and he stayed in the high lane. Does he change that? Does he try to get to the bottom now if he can clear the 11 of Stewart like he did in the heat race? We're ready for green. Terry Coletti with it on the Eddie Warmack starter stand. We're ready for green coming off of turn 4. We are underway in this modified 25-lapper at Midvale Speedway. I don't think Courtney's miss is fixed. He's really slipped back on the opening starts and beating and banging deep in the field, and yet Courtney is off the pace on the straightaway, so he'll be shuffling that inside lane backward, and leading lap number 1 is going to be Tyler Noweski as we complete the first of 25 circuits in the Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. It's going to be Stewart looking for his second feature win in 3 weeks, taking over the spot. Lee McCreary contact with Preston Walker, who makes a heck of a save back in the field. McCreary, some contact with the left rear of Walker deep in the pack. Up front leading the way is Stewart. Second is Noweski. Third, Lucas Ripley. Fourth, Mike Bowers. And fifth, Kevin McClintock, who won last week due to disqualification. McClintock maybe will try to get up there. Maybe a good chance tonight. Didn't qualify quite as well. Better starting spot for McClintock. A chance to get up front, maybe win one the traditional way this evening.
Jason Gruhl took some contact in the 99 on the outside lane, too. Lots of problems for that 99. Your fastest qualifier, second in points right now.
Your race leader is the 11 of Stewart. Second, the 15 of Noweski. Third, the 0 of Ripley. Gets pretty heated back in the field between Todd Ripley, Justin Courtney, Lee McCreary, and the number 7 of Bubba Smith. Watching to see what driver gets ready to make a move. It looks like Preston Walker in the 30s thinking about going to the outside lane. Has nothing to lose as deep in the pack as he is. And no one is close enough to really challenge him, though an inside lane opens up for Glenn Jewell. Jewell's going to try to pick up a spot from the 9 of Westerfield. Preston Walker going to come along as well. So Preston Walker and Glenn Jewell, a couple of our black cars in the field, going to try to head to the front via the inside lane. Going to be lap number 9 complete at the line this time. Adam Stewart leads the way. Second is Noweski, who's running a great race for his first ever feature. McClintock shuffled up. Some contact behind him. The 9 of Westerfield, the 30 car of Preston Walker with some contact.
Glenn Jewell on a mission in that outside lane right now in that number 24, Adam. Wanting to redeem himself from a week ago.
Yeah, he was able to get by Kevin McClintock moments ago, and now trying to get to the outside lane of Mike Bowers, but it looks like it's going to be a little tough out there. He wasn't able to pull alongside Bowers. McClintock checks up coming off of 2. McClintock's car is definitely off the pace. He's having some sort of issues in the 38. Our point leader is going backward right now. A report, somebody said McClintock may be getting into the wall on the front straightaway and might have messed up the toe a little bit on that car. Looks to be okay on the way by. Don't really notice any white marks on the tires, but it is getting racy for the number 5 position as Glenn Jewell and Tim Westerfield Jr. go at it. And Westerfield trying to pick a spot back up from not only Jewell, but trying to get around Bowers and Ripley right ahead of him in 3rd and 4th. Allensworth went to the infield on the backstretch. He gets rolling again. His first feature start in a modified. Martyr getting the move over flag, so is Allensworth as the leader. Adam Stewart, second place car of Noweski. They start to close. Really not a very fast pace in this feature, Chris. You see Stewart leading, you see Noweski in second, but they were in the mid-15s, the 15.5s the last time by. This time 15.3s, 15.2s, which is not even close to their breakout time. So they're in good shape at the front of the pack, though they're going to be working into some traffic. 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Great battle right now coming off of turn 4, and it's going to be a battle for 3rd in a moment. And even Noweski is closing on the 11 car of Stewart at the front. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th on back. Great racing action in our modifieds as the outside lane looks to be coming in. Westerfield picks up a spot. Preston Walker stuck his car out there. He's moving forward. Westerfield just about had the 0 of Ripley cleared, and then Westerfield's car is getting extremely free. He might be on his way back again. We're going to have 5 laps to go this next time around. 5 laps to go for the leader, Adam Stewart. But it almost looks like trouble is brewing with 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on back. Just an accident waiting to happen. It's Glenn Jewell's turn to go to the outside. Jewell shuffling with Preston Walker. What a race in our modifieds. Not necessarily the top 2 to watch, but 3rd, 4th on back. Exciting racing action in the Summit Racing Economy modifieds. Final 4 laps. Stewart protecting the bottom. Noweski would be happy with second, I'm sure, in his first ever Midvale Speedway feature, but he would really love to win his first ever feature here, and he's got the opportunity. Allensworth going to move over out of the way of the leaders as they come by. Might even be pulling to the pits. Oh, down into the infield goes the 0-2 car of Bowers, and we're going to have a yellow. Caution out as Bowers in the 0-2 goes around.
Passing the hood back down, sending Martyr back out. Here he comes.
Four laps to go. Stewart trying to win his second modified feature. Noweski is there to challenge now, though. And the green flag coming off of turn number 4. We are underway again. Final 4 laps of this modified feature. Noweski with a pretty good restart. Stewart up the banking. Noweski off the corner. Slight advantage. We got one spinning back of the field. 88 car of Chris Peel. 09 car of Philip Cox, and yellow is out. We got Philip Cox in the 09 and the 88 car of Chris Peel that got together. Four laps to go. The last start was pretty good for the drivers coming off of 4. In fact, Stewart pushed up a little bit in 1 and 2. Noweski gave him room. And they were racing off of turn number 2 whenever the accident happened at the back of the field. Stewart and Noweski again to turn 4. Green flag is back out. Stewart the slight advantage momentarily. Noweski fighting back in the outside lane. Down the backstretch they race. Double file formation from the front of the field to the back of the field. 3 laps to go this time. Noweski's car, a pretty severe push. That's going to allow Stewart to get back out into the lead. Noweski's going to drop down into the inside lane. Oh, here comes Ripley. Noweski caught in the middle of the sandwich. Down into the corner we go. Noweski turns sideways, and they pile in.
Lots of damage on Jason Gruhl's 99. Your point leader, Kevin McClintock, top 2 in points, involved in this one. Lee McCreary involved. Also Mike Bowers involved down here. And Noweski made a little bit of contact with
Well, yeah, the 9
Westerfield.
of Westerfield had no clue that he was on the outside of a 3 wide. So what he does is he comes down thinking the 15's going to go down. And he didn't, because he had a car underneath him. Jason Gruhl, who's second in the points. McClintock, who's third point leader. Both of them had to pit there. It's going to be Stewart and Lucas Ripley coming to the green off of turn number 4, ready to get back underway. 3 laps from the finish in our Summit Racing Economy Modified feature. We're underway. Looked like Ripley spun the tires a little bit in the 0 car.
Caution, guys.
Going to have a caution. Yellow out, as I thought Ripley may have spun the tires a little bit, but it's going green for the first 21 laps or so of this race without a caution, and now we've had a few. Lee McCreary heading to the pits in the 2. Still some issues on that car.
Nice start, guys.
Don Boron Jr.'s made his way into the top 5. Bubba Smith running 6. Todd Ripley in the 7th spot. Here they come for the green. Good restart off of turn number 4. Hey, Mike Bowers has worked himself into contention in the 0-2. Off of the second corner, Glenn Jewell also in contention in the 24 car. He goes for the number 2 position. Glenn Jewell might be a threat now as he takes the second spot away from Lucas Ripley. Into one re-race. 23 in, 2 to go to be the white flag the next time around. Jewell up to the second spot. Boron racing for third. White flag is out. 1 to go for Stewart. Here comes Glenn Jewell. Glenn Jewell puts it on the outside of Stewart, racing for the lead. Glenn Jewell taking advantage down into turn 3. Stewart punches it in hard. Up the banking he goes. Way up the track they race. Stewart's going to bring it across the line with the win. Second spot to Glenn Jewell. Third spot to the 82 of Don Boron Jr. As that one comes to an end, gets the heart beating a little bit on the final lap. What a race for Glenn Jewell up to second.
What a good finish in our modified division. Great racing all the way through the field, Adam.
You know, Chris, last week Glenn Jewell had a borrowed carburetor on his car and got DQ'd. I think he was trying for some redemption there. He made a great run the last couple of laps. That car, that Texas Roadhouse JD Byrider car, is hooked up. But Adam Stewart, how about he's driven this car 3 weeks and he's won 2 features, doing a pretty nice job for himself.
Yeah, we'll ask Glenn about that whenever he gets over here. We'll talk to our second and third place finishers, hopefully, after you talk to the winner, Adam Stewart.
The H&H Napa, Ida's Cafe, Joe's Auto Service. Graphics by Dave, number 11, your winner, Adam Stewart. All right, Adam, you talked to Chris before the race over there, and you said, man, I hate the pole because it makes you nervous. You just don't know when to go. You got the whole field behind you. It's not a bad place to start, though, because you don't have to pass anybody, and you were able to hang on and hold them off.
Yeah, it makes me want to throw up. I don't know if it's the heat or what. These guys keep messing with me all day. I like to thank Joe and all of them. I want to thank Ripley. We broke the rear end over there first time we came out hot lapping today. And these guys all put a rear end in for me. And, yeah, and it was hooked up. These guys, Rick, I like to thank Rick. Hopefully he takes this 40 lapper and then we can do it again.
You got the last restart with a couple laps to go there. Glenn Jewell came out of nowhere. He drives up beside you through 1 and 2. He was on the move, and you went down into 3 and said, I better drive it in a little deeper. He's got me beat.
I was taking it easy. I was trying to protect it. I didn't want to spin. I didn't know who was behind me. You can't see nothing in these cars. As soon as I seen a black car come on, I said, man, I better take her in deep, man. Or I didn't know who it was, so.
There you go, your winner tonight, Adam Stewart, second modified win of the season, our first repeat winner in modified competition.
Crew over here working on the Vince Martin number 5. I'll try and keep you posted. Looks like they're going to send him back out, Adam. Everything looks
This
okay.
time by race fans, down in turn 4, everybody get up, stand up, and wave these drivers off. We're going 40 laps of action tonight in the JD Byriders Street Stock Division here at Midvale Speedway. It's been a great class for us here in 2014. Thanks for saluting our drivers as they bring you 40 laps of green flag action coming your way.
Gas cap was twisted wrong on the number 5, so they got that issue fixed, and he's back out there, but he'll have to start to the tail end of the field, Adam.
Ready to come to green off of turn number 4, Lewis and Colmar. Green is out. 3 wide move made by the 28 car of Orr. Contact made with Colmar. Orr is going to go to the inside. We've got him 3 wide. Takes a 40-lap race tonight, but they're going to win it on the first lap. You can see that right now. Waylon Orr goes into the lead. Todd Miller racing for second with Cody Colmar. And Gary Hoopengarner in the number 4 spot. We do complete our first lap somehow, some way, as we watch the 6 of Martin, the 62 of Elkins. Those are the 2 fast cars in the division, the 2 that you wonder when they will get to the front and which of those 2 will be able to be at the front at the finish. Boy, Colmar and Hoopengarner make some contact. Now Colmar up the track. Here comes the 112 of Austin Harvey to the bottom. A little bit of eating and banging going on in our field. Street Stock's historically one of our roughest race divisions. Harvey with a flat tire. Something goes up the banking. Something wrong on the 112 of Austin Harvey. In fact, some smoke coming out of the car, and the right front suspension is broken on Harvey's 112. He's going to take his ride to the pits eventually. Leading the way is Orr. Harvey trying to make his way into the pits. Looks like he will. And caution out for Austin Harvey in the 112 as he may need the tow truck.
That was a good break for Mike Martin, Adam, in the 6. He was right behind the 112 when he went up the racetrack there, and he had to check up big time, lost a lot of positions. So
Yeah.
good break for Mike Martin in the 6, but bad break for Harvey in the 112.
4 in, 36 to go. Waylon Orr, Todd Miller coming to green, turn 4. $350 on the line tonight for the Street Stock Division. We are underway. Martin makes a 3-wide move in the outside lane back in the field, trying to pick up some of those spots. Waylon Orr out front. Look, Dennis Wood's going to thread the needle. Dennis Wood in the 41 car goes 3 wide down the backstretch. Wood makes an impressive move to take over a spot. Todd Miller caught in the 3rd lane now. He's shuffled back. Dennis Wood trying to go for the lead, but also trying to hold off Hoopengarner for that 2nd spot. Dennis Wood into 2nd, but right now can't pull alongside Waylon Orr. Elkins also looking low. Here comes Martin, so Martin a chance to get around Elkins. Elkins boxed in a little bit on the bottom. Martin gets around him. So Elkins gets caught on the inside lane, and Martin picks up a spot. Here comes Elkins to the inside of Hoopengarner. Going to make the move to the low groove on Gary Hoopengarner. Those 2 make some contact. Uh-oh, flat tire on Elkins, the right rear. 62 of Elkins with a flat right rear tire. Down into the grass he goes. He brings out the yellow. He'll go to the pits. The crew will be running to a tire.
crew's already got the tire there ready to go. This should be a quick change, hopefully, for the 62 Elkins, but you heard that thing pop right in the middle of the corner. No contact that I seen, just
They were real close. I'm
tire.
not sure if they did or not, but I know he and Hoopengarner were racing hard side by side, and a tire popped. It might have been like a situation earlier this season where he had a tire go on the inside of what was then Mike Martin. 8 laps in, 32 from the finish. Elkins coming out in turn 3. He's got a long way to go. Plenty of time to get to the front. It's going to be Dennis Wood and Waylon Orr coming in for the green. Into turn 1 we race. Wood on the inside or on the outside, and here comes the number 6 of Martin. It was fortunate for Dennis Wood. He had edged Waylon Orr at the line not long before the yellow came out. That's what gave him the inside lane for the restart, and Orr the outside. Orr in the 3rd position, drops back into line. Dennis Wood the leader. And Dennis Wood is no slouch. But we watch Elkins now try to make his way from deep in the pack. And does he have the same stagger with that replacement tire? Got the 32 of Colmar sideways in front of Elkins. Side by side they race. Going to take Elkins a while to get there. We've completed 25% of this race. 11 laps in, 29 to go. Dennis Wood the leader. Martin second, Orr third. 4th is Hoopengarner, and 5th is Passwaters. Oh, caution flag is out. Yellow is the 93 of Brian Lewis Jr. Lewis Jr. with some big time issues on the drivetrain of that car.
I had to throw that out there.
And he is running in the number 1 position for the restart. Mike Martin, the point leader, 2-time feature winner this season in the 6. He's alongside. They're starting 3rd and 4th. Bob Passwater Sr. drives the 75, restarting 5th, and Todd Miller restarts 6th. We've also got Cody Colmar, Rick Elkins Jr., Vince Martin, and Bob Passwaters Jr. out there. The green flag is out. Racing down into the 1st and 2nd turn, Dennis Wood looking good on the inside lane. He's going to be able to hold off Martin. 41 car hooked up. He's got Robbie Petrus helping on that ride. Robbie Petrus, I think, the car owner of that number 41, and he's looking good out front. Dennis Wood in the 41, filling in the driver's seat until Andrea Hunter takes over. Young driver, graduated recently from high school. Rick Elkins trying to make his way from the back after that tire change. Elkins boxed in right now. Doesn't want the leaders to get too far away, even though this race goes 40 laps tonight instead of 20. Hoopengarner slips up the banking. Man, he might have a tire going down or something where he started wheel hopping. Down the track he comes. Elkins already there to the inside. Elkins going to pick up the number 5 position. Elkins moving forward. He's already been able to pick off a few competitors. And he's going to pick off another one as Passwaters opens up the inside lane. 14 complete, 26 to go. Waylon Orr nearly spun it coming out of 4. Dennis Wood leads the race. I don't think Martin's got anything for him. If anybody does, it will be the 62 of Elkins. Martin back a few car lengths from Dennis Wood. Elkins now for the 3rd position. Rick Elkins Jr. to the outside of Waylon Orr for the 3rd spot. And Elkins takes 3rd at the line. Hasn't quite cleared Waylon Orr yet. In fact, Waylon Orr really drives it in deep. Got sideways, keeps on rolling. Elkins in the outside groove. Is going to hold off Waylon Orr now, and Elkins can go back to the inside lane, though his car really looks like it's getting free again in the outside. You wonder about that right rear tire. Elkins pretty hard on the right rear. I think it was a right rear earlier this season that he busted too, just like earlier in this race. Locks up the brakes a little bit going into 3. We'll see what kind of laps he's turning compared to the leaders. Dennis Wood was just about as quick. Hoopengarner pulls to the infield. Gary Hoopengarner, the veteran, to the infield. Problems for Hoopengarner. So the last time around, Dennis Wood, Mike Martin, and Elkins all turned about identical laps. And this time, Elkins is about 2/10 quicker. So Elkins is a little bit quicker. And this is going to help. Oh, and caution is out. Yellow flag for the 32 of Colmar, spinning on to turn 4.
And just what the doctor ordered for Rick Elkins Jr.
please. We have found a phone. A phone has been found in the women's restroom. Phone has been found in the women's restroom. We have it in the main scoring tower. If you left your phone in the women's restroom, you can come describe it, and we'll give you your phone back. 18 laps in, 22 laps to go. The green is out. Dennis Wood had the great restart last time with a good run under green. Oh, look out, coming out of turn 2. Not a hard hit, the 32 of Colmar, 5 car of Vince Martin go up into the wall, but it was a minor mishap. The Street Stock Cemetery located on the infield right now, Chris. 18 laps in, 22 laps to go. Dennis Wood, Mike Martin, the phone has been claimed. Just about the halfway mark of this race. This the best restart for Mike Martin, but Dennis Wood's going to fight back on the inside lane. Down into turn 3, racing side by side for the number 1 spot. $350 on the line tonight in our Street Stock feature. Mike Martin, the leader at the line. Dennis Wood trying to fight back. Martin might get him this time. Martin wheeling it in the second groove. Dennis Wood trying to fight back. Dennis Wood gets through 3 a little better that time. Sideways somewhat. Martin then wiggles a bit. He leads at the line. Martin leads lap 19 and 20. We are halfway now. 20 laps in, 20 laps to go. Dennis Wood, Martin leaning on each other a little bit, but still racing each other pretty clean. Rick Elkins Jr. currently boxed in, looking for an opening at the line. That was tight. Dennis Wood with the advantage. Wood sideways going down into the corner. Look out, Dennis Wood. Sile goes down into the infield, and Dennis Wood's going to come to the stop on the edge of the racetrack and going to bring out the yellow. Dennis Wood. Fastest 2 cars week in and week out in the division. It's up to them now to battle it out. Dennis Wood will also try to recover a decent finish here from the 9th restarting position. Green flag is out for Martin and Elkins. Into the corner we go. Man, Waylon Orr side slaps the 75 of Passwaters. They keep on going though. Passwaters Jr. off the pace in the 74. Martin's going to hold him off so far in the number 6. Dennis Wood's already picked up 3 positions in the 41 car. Don't count him out quite yet. Never know what might happen between the top 2. 23 and 17 to go for Martin, as well as the 62 of Elkins. Elkins is going to have to try to do it on the bottom. He does drop to the bottom, but Martin protecting the inside lane. Will Elkins have to use the chrome horn in this race to make it work? You know he wants to win the 40-lapper. Elkins, one of those drivers that likes to do it cleanly, though. He's one of the better shoes we've got here at Midvale Speedway.
Well, and these two put on a whale of a show 1 week ago, Adam.
That they did, and they've got 15 laps left in this one. 15 laps to go for Martin, Elkins, and the 28 car of Orr. Martin's car gets off the corner a little better. Elkins' car through the middle of the turn is strong, but he gives up a little bit coming off because of that. They are pulling away from the 28 car of Waylon Orr for the number 5 position. Dennis Wood to the inside. Dennis Wood for 5th. And will take the spot from Passwater Sr. And around goes the 28 car of Waylon Orr. All on his own, Waylon Orr in the 28. Hoopengarner's also pulled pit side. 26 and 14 to go in this 40-lapper for the Street Stocks. Martin and Elkins again to the green. And Martin, the slight advantage, better through turn 1. Coming off of 2, Elkins pulls away from the rest of the field with him. 77 of Miller running in third. Fourth place, battle between Wood and Passwaters. Wood's going to move back up into fourth. He's definitely as good as a third place car. Elkins pulls back alongside Martin, but up the track he goes. He gave it all he could down in turns 3 and 4 and just could not get it to stick.
Yeah, I think, Adam, he's trying to get it done early because that right rear tire, probably a little bit more air pressure than to his liking. Got to get it done early.
It looks like he is pretty loose, pretty free going through the corners. You think maybe it's got a little more stagger. But he is closing again on Mike Martin. I don't know that he's going to be able to get him on the outside. I think he's going to have to do it on the inside unless he can get Martin to spin his tires on a restart if we have another one. Right now, looks like Martin's race to win or lose. Dennis Wood's going to move into the number 3 spot. Again, a good recovery for Dennis Wood in the 41. So Wood back up to third. Late models lining up pit side as they get ready for their 40-lap feature, or 30-lap feature, as this 40-lapper has 32 complete. And Elkins makes a run at Martin. Man, that thing is a handful right now. Just a little on the free side, most likely with that tire change. 7 to go for Martin and Elkins. Early in this race, it looked like Elkins was going to be the one to win it, as he was actually ahead of Martin at one point on a restart. And then Martin made some moves in the outside lane to get around him. Then Elkins had a tire blow. 6 to go for Martin. Elkins, Wood, Miller fourth. Fifth, Waylon Orr. Sixth, Passwaters Jr. Seventh, Passwaters Sr. And Cody Colmar breaks glowing on the front of that car. He runs 8th. 5 more laps to go for Mike Martin and Rick Elkins Jr. Elkins there again, but Martin's so good at protecting that inside lane. He knows that might be the only way that Elkins can get him at this point. 4 to go. And Elkins can't stay in the throttle hard enough because the tires are spinning. He's also got those front rotors glowing. You don't see this much in a street stock division. The rotor's glowing. It's like a late model because they're running the longer distance race tonight. 3 laps to go, and Elkins gives up the bottom. Here comes Dennis Wood. Elkins has used it up, Chris, and Wood's going to move into second. Elkins crossover move coming out of turn 2. Nice move, Rick Elkins Jr. He and Wood trading positions in that second spot. 2 to go. The old intimidator move, and Wood might get it back. He goes back to the inside. Swapping positions again, Elkins and Wood. I think Dennis Wood liked what he saw from Elkins, says, I'm going to try that myself.
28's under 28. Go out a little bit, right?
39 laps, final lap. White flag is out. Going to come to the checkered coming off of turn number 4. Mike Martin to the double checkers. What a battle for second. Elkins holds off Wood.
Stop on the backstretch, guys.
77 of Miller finishes 4th. Waylon Orr in the 5th spot. 6th spot to Passwaters Sr. 7th, Passwaters Jr. Finishing 8th, 32 of Colmar. Good run for Rick Elkins Jr. Man, it was fun watching him and Dennis Wood battle it out over the last couple of laps. The crossover moves that they were pulling on each other. The Papa P's Auto Detailing, Twins Auto Sales, Canton Car Connection. Finish Line Designs, number 6, winning his 3rd feature of the year. Your winner, Mike Martin. Mike, 40 laps is a long way. You look like you're worn out a little bit. Some of that, I think you were wheeling it with a car that was a little tougher to drive, right?
Yes, it was. It wasn't handling too good tonight.
Said you were a little low on brake power, too. These cars are not necessarily made to run 40 laps. You ran some long green flag laps. I'm not so sure that Elkins didn't have the same issue. His front rotors were glowing bright. You said the brakes started going away?
Yeah, it has none towards the end. I was like, uh-oh, I hope this comes quick.
And it did. It came to the end, man. You held off Dennis Wood there on the one, then he spun it going down into the corner. Then Elkins caught you. He gave you a good battle there, and then those two put on a great show behind you. You didn't get to see any of that, but they were putting on a good show for second.
Was I? Dude, he's a great driver. I give Elkins credit.
Yeah, him and Dennis Wood and you both all running great. A lot of people you want to thank, I'm sure, besides the sponsors.
Yeah, my brother, all my kids, Canton Car Connection, and Papa P's, and Twins Auto Sales, and Ron Courtney, and everybody for helping me on the car.
Let's hear it for the winner, Mike Martin, his 3rd feature win of 2014. McIntosh Oil Company late model 30 lapper is next. Joe Leinert on the outside. That's our front row starters. John Ambrose Jr. and Rick Sibla in row number 2. We're coming to turn number 4. Green flag is out. We're underway. Into turn 1 we race. Martin up the track a little bit. Here comes Ambrose looking. He's thinking about 3 wide. That hole closes up. Martin closed the door. Here comes Rick Sibla. Leinert into the lead. Sibla in the 2nd spot. Ambrose again peeking to the bottom as we complete the 1st. Oh, some contact. Ambrose gets into Martin.
Once he's getting acclimated to these late models, and also the Jaybird Racing team in at 21 doing a good job for Rick Sibla.
Here we go for Leinert, who led a lot of laps in the late model feature recently. And Rick Sibla to the green. It waves coming out of 4. We're underway. Rick Sibla on the outside lane, going to pull forward. Leinert on the inside. He's going to drop into the number 2 spot. Matthew Mills up to 3rd. Alex Rosenberry in the number 2, the Rosenberry Towing Flight Test number 2, starting to move forward. So is Bryant Smith. You would figure Rosenberry and Smith would be 2 of the cars that would be favorites in this race. They've been 2 of the quicker racing cars all season long in late model competition. And I think there's no question right now that Rosenberry might be the favorite, with Bryant Smith that 2nd favorite, as they are moving forward and moving forward in a hurry. Rosenberry takes 3rd. Going to be going for 2nd. Alex Rosenberry. Car looks to be hooked up for the feature. So does Brian Smith. Looks much better than he did a week ago. Leading the way is Rick Sibla, though. Sibla looking for his 1st win in the Route 39 Auto Salvage sponsored 21. And it's the 2 of Rosenberry, a one to watch as he and Brian Smith are picking them off one at a time. Ed Watson in the 11 might be heading to the pits. He is heading pit side. Watson, as he was about to go a lap down, gets out of the way, heads to the pits. Here comes Brian Smith to the outside of Joe Leinert for 3rd, and Rosenberry has caught our leader. Brian Smith takes the number 3 spot away from Joe Leinert. And Rosenberry, the opening to the inside of Rick Sibla. What a move by Alex Rosenberry, but just as we say that, caution's out for a wreck in turns 1 and 2. Bad break for Alex Rosenberry. Good break for Rick Sibla. A spin by Dave Martin.
Well, can Sibla hold off Rosenberry and Smith?
Well, the outside lane might not be as good as it once was, Chris, with the liquid that was put down, especially in 3 and 4. We'll see how Rosenberry handles it on the outside groove. He and Sibla coming to 4. Green flag is out. Looking good so far. Heading down into the first and second turn. Rosenberry is fine to the outside lane. He is going to be able to clear Rick Sibla. He can go to the bottom if he needs to now. He's going to elect to stay in the outside lane. Looks good out there, and Rosenberry in the lead. Bryant Smith has now caught the second place car of Rick Sibla. Smith looking to the outside of Sibla for the number 2 position. Gets to the high lane coming off of the 4th corner. And now they're side by side through turns 1 and 2. Rick Sibla, Bryant Smith down the backstretch into the 3rd corner. Smith and Sibla for the number 2 position. Sibla a little bit better on the bottom lane.